knowledge of spirit radio. And once again, we're here to seek the hidden truth. That's the bottom line. And I'm one of your hosts here, Celebrity Psychic Jesse Bravo. And with me is UK's finest, most handsome, most knowledgeable presenter, Alan Cox.
Thank you so much indeed, Jesse. I've got the carpenters on the way. They're going to widen my doorway. They will get here.
Well, I'm sure your wife agrees with me completely, right?
Well, she's actually gone to bed. It's till 2 in the morning here.
Oh, my God. Well, she probably thinks about you in your sleep. Maybe.
Right. What do they say? Mad dog's an Englishman, you know.
Well, guys, I want to let you know we had a doubleheader here. We just had John just come off. We had a wonderful time. We know we're going to have a major time here with Michelle. I met Michelle a couple of years ago. She was doing an expo over here that I don't even do anymore because it's almost like it's like P.T. Barnum Bailey circus sometimes is the best way of describing it. But I met her. I was very impressed in what she did, and it had nothing to do with her resume. Now, don't get me wrong, people out there. It's wonderful when you have a big resume behind you, but it's even better when people meet you and they're impressed with who you are as a person, not what you have or what people think you are. And to me, that makes all the difference, especially in a spiritual life. So without further ado, we're going to bring the #1 America Psychic, okay? The official #1 America Psychic, all right? We could say that officially. You may have seen her on HBO. You may have seen her on many TV shows, newspapers, magazines. She's on the radio. You cannot not find her. That's the greatest thing. You cannot. It's impossible to miss her. And we have with us Celebrity Psychic Michelle Whitedove. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Oh, my God. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah, I've really been looking forward to it, yes.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
We've been looking forward to this all week. So, Michelle, one of the things that we always try to do from the beginning, right, Alan, is we try to sort of get a sense of how it all started. Where did you start with the ability?
To be quite frank with you, I was actually born this way. And when we're little, and I'll be very frank, my parents weren't religious or spiritual. I think that was a blessing in disguise. I just made the assumption, everyone is seeing what I'm seeing, grandma that's passed over, my guardian angels. And it was really brought to my attention. It took me until about the age of 8 to realize, no, not everybody is seeing or hearing or feeling what I am. And everyone's pointing me out in the room as if I have the issue. I'm not normal. And so it was around 8 that I started to go, let me just keep my mouth closed. And then at 18, I had a near-death experience, and I crossed over, and I was shown not only that short 18 years when we're quite pompous, we think we know so much, and we don't. And then they showed me my future 3 times, and needless to say, we know who won that battle. So I came back, and I was very quick about getting on a fast track. And I say that, and here I am many years later. But it was 18 that really turned me around, and that's when I started doing this work and accepting my gift and just saying, you know what, this is who I am, and I'm going to use it in a good way to help people for their highest good.
Now, when you had this near-death experience, am I correct to say that you spoke to God? Is that true?
Yes, that is true. And God's not like, a man with a beard wearing this white, robe sitting on a cloud playing a harp. It's a collective consciousness of energy and wisdom and unconditional love. And I was only met with a fragment of the Godhead, as well as my guardian angels, of my family I could see going, go back. I'm like, oh no, I'm coming home. So to try to explain it in any language, it's difficult. So much is lost in the translation. I feel like it almost takes away or taints that experience,
Oh, man. Alan, you have anything?
Yeah, well, what always fascinates me, Michelle, you've always been, shall we say, psychic, spiritual. When you went to school, I asked this question to quite a few people. You went to school, you finished school, you finished college. Do you then go out into the wide world and do in inverted commas, a normal job?
Well, I'll be very frank about it, as I always am. Actually, as I was going through school, which was, just regular schools, from kindergarten to 12th grade, I was smart enough to go through vocational school at the same time to become a cosmetologist. And at a very early age, about 20, 21, I opened up my own salon. And I already was gifted. I had already had my near-death experience at 18. But what I did come back with after I experienced my near-death experience was this conscious awakening and memory of all that I experienced in the heavens and what I was shown, meaning my future. So here I am in this little beauty salon that I own, and I'm thinking that the ladies are coming in to get their nails done or their hair and whatnot. They weren't coming in for that, because the things that were coming out of my mouth, some of them would run out of my business and never come back again because they were so scared. And then some just kept coming because they really wanted the information, versus the beauty treatments. So needless to say, that was converted into what I do today, and then that went to writing my first book, and then teaching, and then television, and just, one thing just led to another, and it just naturally unfolded.
Wow, that's amazing. You've been on a lot. You've been on obviously NBC, Today Show, CBS, Fox, Alan Holmes. I mean, you name it. You've done a lot of media. Now, when you go on media, I mean, what do you think they really want from you? What do you think they're looking for you?
I'll be really honest. I think that a lot of times when I do media, and I'm really quite fussy about what I choose to do. Even with America's Psychic Challenge, I refused them 3 times before I did the show. Now, what I think is really funny, being a spiritual medium, a psychic, I knew nothing about the money, and there's a reason for that. I thought that was hilarious. That was just a plus. So, but going on to that show, it goes back to when I started the conversation with you. I did that show going, you know what? I am so tired of people saying that this is nonsense. This is, the skeptics. All right, let me prove all to the hardcore skeptics and really everyone, because it's aired worldwide, to show them under the pressure, under the whatever crazy scenarios and tests that they lined up for me, that I was able, once the ego is not in the way, the ego is not our friend in this career,
I agree.
It works against us, not for us. There's no room for ego in this. So, I didn't really even know what I was walking into. You had to earn your way up, work your way up to the final. And that was a heck of an experience for me, America's Psychic Challenge, because it proved to me through spirit that I was able to do things that I didn't even know that I could do.
It pushed you. It pushed you out of your comfortability.
It pushed me like 911. Yeah, it pushed me all right over the edge.
And I suppose, unfortunately, Michelle, there's always an element of people wanting you to fail, isn't there?
Wanting me to what? Excuse me, sir.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Caller 719 from area code 719. We put you live in the queue. If you can mute out for a little while, and we'll call you.
They will. Oh my. It's a good thing you guys got a great sense of humor.
It's live radio.
Listen, this is great. Spirit gives you whatever the Spirit's going to give you to work with, so you can either die over it or just deal with it. Hey,
I roll with the punches, baby.
Exactly. So it could be far worse. That's what I always say. Now, Michelle, I don't know if I'm sensing this, but when I listen to your voice, there's a slight accent. Where is that accent from?
Oh, my goodness. I get this all the time. I'm actually half Irish and Scottish, and so sometimes that comes out more. I can put my radio voice on for you if you'd like.
No, I want the real you. I don't want the radio you.
Yeah, well, then you got the real me. That's just it. And I do speak more than one language, so that kind of even makes things a little bit more interesting.
Oh, wow. I noticed it because I heard this slight tint. That was just hitting me off, and I just could not place it whatsoever.
Oh, come on, for the love of God, I'm a redhead, all right? I'm a ginger. I glow in the day and the night. Just call me Casper.
So in some of your teachings, where do you stand with your angelic teaching. How does that work for you?
Oh, that's my favorite. You know, I always try to, you know, I do a lot of teaching. I have to be honest, over the years of doing the readings and the television and the radio, I've come to really love teaching because there's so many psychics, mediums, healers, you know, with this play of words out there that I really feel need some help, to be honest. And I know when I was up and coming, very young, and doing this work, I didn't have anybody to help me other than the spirit, which was more than enough, obviously. But I made a promise to myself when I was younger that if I saw any potential, you know, people that were truly gifted and were in their integrity and real, you know, not this hocus pocus or, you know, give me this amount of money and I'll get rid of this darkness around your head, you know, it's just a bunch of hogwash. So I just got frustrated with that, and when I started writing my books, this was a great wealth of knowledge that I can't even take credit for because really I'm nothing more than a humble messenger, just a vehicle that was able to bring the information through. And then I started teaching at Nova and different places, and to this day I still teach as well as do radio. I still write. I have a new book coming out called Ask Whitedove, Angels to Zodiac, which people are like, give me the book, let's have it, you know. So I'd probably say my favorite thing is teaching, but I also love working with children. That's what inspired me to write children's book about their invisible friends, which is about their guardian angels. Because so many of our indigo children today say, Mommy, you know, I see this beautiful glowing orb or angel in my room, and Mommy's like, all right, my child is imagining or lost her mind. And so I really wanted to give the parents something to aid them in helping these indigo children or children that are little mediums or intuitives to help them understand. I think the parents need an education as well as the children so they can connect the dots, you know?
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Alan, you can say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, Michelle, that it's necessary to help people, isn't it? It isn't about... You know, it isn't about ourselves, really. And when you get in a position like yourself, people do listen, and that is good. I suppose also, I think I've said this to other guests of ours, is that you have to be careful of the people who they rely on us too much and perhaps rely on you too much.
I call them psychic junkies, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I have such great imagination. I saw the entire psychic junkie just unfold in front of me.
Well, I did. I'm not joking, guys, really. I mean, I have people that will call me, and if I've read for them, you know, and let's just say I read for them 2 weeks ago. Well, then why are they calling me 2 weeks later? I mean, these people need to learn to do the work for themselves. We all are intuitive. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's at, you know, maybe the level that I am, not that I'm tooting my own horn here, but, you know, some people may see clairaudio, clairvoyant, or telepathic. For me, I'm very diverse, and I'm blessed in that way, but some days I'll tell you it's a curse. A blessing and a curse. It comes with a great sense of responsibility.
It's amazing because, you know, people always ask me, like, oh, it's so cool that you do what you do because you know, Michelle, we've entered into the world of now it's cool to be psychic, where, you know, 25 years ago it was not cool to be psychic. Oh,
no, it was like so taboo. If I said that to my parents, they would have locked me up in the Looney Tune bin, you know?
Exactly. You would have had the doorknob, but it would have been on the other side of the door, right?
Right, and that's why I kept my mouth shut until I was about 18. After the near-death experience, I was like, oh, I don't care what any of you guys got to say. This is who I am. These are my gifts, and let me use them for the good of all, you know, the highest good of all. And for me, I'm really more of a humanitarian, and it's not just about, you know, counseling or working with children or bringing loved ones through, but I work murder cases. I mean, I do a multitude of things, and I always try to give back, and that's one of the universal laws. I really, you know, what we put into something is what we get back tenfold, and I'm a firm believer in the law of karma as well. You know, there's so many of these psychics and mediums that claim to be that, but, you know, what I'd like to say to the people that are listening, not all psychics, first of all, they're not mediums. All mediums are psychics, but let's not also make the assumption that all mediums, or psychics for that matter, are spiritual.
We had that same conversation right now, Alan.
Yeah, I mean,
they do.
Well, the fact is, all of us have our own kind of connection, don't we, Michelle?
Absolutely.
And we all haven't got all the connections to what perhaps everybody thinks that we have, you know. And I think the important thing is to use what we've got to our best abilities, accept the link, and not try to do something that we're not meant to do.
Exactly. You know, people always say to me, "Is this just your job?" And I'm like, "No, far from it. It's not my job. It's my way of life. It's my mission statement. It's, you know, what I'm here to do." And I think when we come here and we're doing what we're meant to do and we love what we do, we're good at it and we're joyful and we're successful and abundant and lucrative. And it's a wonderful domino effect to show that to others, and that it can be done.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, and this is the big faux pas. I would never do this because it's just too scary and too much liability. But I know that you're a medical intuitive. Am I correct to say that?
I am a medical intuitive. You are correct to say that.
Okay.
That's another one of my favorites. But
okay. Now here's what scares me. Do you get a little scared when you're starting to do that? Because really it's really a dicey area, right?
No, I mean, not for me, to be honest. It's one of my areas that I very, very much fine-tuned. You know, we can develop our gifts even more and fine-tune them. And, you know, I've even worked with doctors and scientists that are like, okay, how in the world are you able to diagnose these people without, you know, any way of looking into them or running tests? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, it's not me, it's spirit, and spirit knows exactly what's going on with the person. And for me, you have to understand, I see, hear, feel, smell, taste, know in one. And so if someone has a health issue, let's say earlier today in my readings, I will literally sometimes feel that, physically take it on. I have to be honest with you, it's not so pleasant, you know, it's not fun.
No, not at all.
It's not fun on my end, but, and I have to say this, it's not fun either working murder cases, but however, it brings closure to the family. It helps the family with their grief, or maybe if it's a murder case, that particular soul is seeking justice, and it's not that they're wayward or lost. They're just, you know, helping the family and helping their case, and that's why I do it, and it's rewarding in so many ways.
Yeah, I used to work with the Center of Missing and Exploited Children.
Oh, yeah,
but it becomes very taxing. I mean, my son is a very gifted psychic medium. He's 14 now. And but he's got great clairvoyance sometimes. So if I'm really stuck on a case, I go over and I ask him, I said, can you help me with this?
I love it.
I like that.
I said, can you really help me with this? Because I'm getting this, but I'm not really, it's not fitting where it needs to fit.
Yeah, but just like you're educating him, you're schooling him and helping him along. That's wonderful, and vice versa.
It is, because when I was younger, and this is definitely my book, I'm the first male psychic in my family.
Good for you.
It went right through the female side, and I'm the first male psychic. And so my mother's also a medium, but not a psychic.
Gotcha.
I mean, she's a medium, but she doesn't use a psychic ability. She just used a medium. So at least I was explained a little bit, but then shut down. So that's why I think that the book that you're doing is so important, because now family members can help out their children. Because when my son started showing his abilities, I was like, I got to help this guy, because the last thing I wanted was to have this kid dressed up like goth, like all with black lipstick, a bolt through his nose and his eyebrow.
Oh, no.
And earrings holding avocados. I mean, I just didn't want that kid. You know, I was so scared that was going to happen, because when kids are misunderstood and no one's talking to them, that's what happens.
That's exactly what happens. I'll be honest, when I was going into school, I was quite bullied. You know, oh, that's a mystery girl, or she's very strange, you know, because it was so taboo, as you were saying. So when I was coming up, I didn't have anyone to help me, and, you know, and when night would come and the lights went off, I'd get very scared.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was spirit that really inspired me to write these children's books. One is called My Invisible Friends, and it's about their guardian angels. And then the second children's book that's getting ready to be released is called The Angels of the Ocean. dolphins, whales, and mermaids, and you open it up and it says, "Welcome to the Blue World." It's about the ocean and our environment. So it's a really wonderful way to work with these children and also at the same time aid the parents to get the education if they don't have it, to work with the children that are extremely gifted.
I agree. You know, but it's so much better when things are understood. It makes people's lives easier.
Yes, and I will say that the best thing that came from my near-death experience, because I did lose family and friends, and I was clinically pronounced dead, was, again, that conscious, you know, just with great conviction and certainty, knowing heaven, knowing home, knowing what my contract was in this lifetime, what I needed to do, and how I needed to do that. And it's something that I continue to this day to follow what Spirit showed me, because it's only when we go against our intuition do we find ourselves to be with the problem. It's not more than one.
Yeah, did you? Can you remember that experience? I mean, to the detail of what happened at the time, or is it? It's just like, well, it happened, and then you come round.
You mean my near-death experience?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I remember it. It was funny because, well, it wasn't really funny because I died, and that's not too funny. I mean, I can laugh about it now. It scared the bejesus out of these paramedics when they, you know, clocked me dead, and then all of a sudden I'm back, and they're like, "Holy smokes!" But I do. I remember it all with such vivid, lucid. I mean, it's more real to me than even right here at this time, in this moment, in this place.
Hello.
Because this is the illusion. This is the dream. You know, heaven is home. It's where we come from, and it's where we return. And as I said, it's the collective consciousness. And yes, I was shown that, but. And I do talk about that in my first book, She Talks with Angels. But to get into it on the radio, it's quite elaborate, and it's very difficult for me because family and friends, it's a touchy subject. And I have to be honest, it was the hardest chapter and the hardest book that I ever wrote, which was my first one, She Talks with Angels.
So let me ask you this, Michelle. Now, I know that I believe you had some medical complications throughout the years. Am I correct?
Yes, actually, they told me I was my back was broke. Well, let me put it this way: I had internal injuries. My back was broke. External injuries. The only thing that I could move was my left hand. My lungs had collapsed. My heart was bruised. Internal bleeding. My head was split open. My nose was broke. I mean, just because my right arm was completely shattered. My left ankle. So it wasn't a pretty picture, you know.
Now, do you have any effects of that still to this day, or no?
Nothing. Everything that Spirit promised me is exactly what it is. They told me that I would be well. I was even told at 18 that I would never have children. I have 2 young boys. Okay? So not that they're so young, but to me they're young, you know, 25 and 21. But two boys, they said, oh, it'll never happen. They told me my arm would never be straight. They said my back would never be, I would never be able to walk. I mean, the things these guys told me, the doctors, and I remember just looking at them and laughing, and they probably thought at the time it was the morphine at that particular time. But they said that every time I would come out of the coma, I would speak about heaven and the angels and what I saw, and I already knew who passed without my family telling me. And then they said as they went to release me from one hospital to another, I would not go because I told them, no, I'm fine. And right when I was released from the hospital, against hospital policy, about 2.5 weeks later, I was up and going, and people were just blown away. And so I often tell the crowd, you know, I am a living testimonial of proof that there is a continuation of life, and miracles happen from small to large every day. Yeah. And I really think that we give doctors too much power. They're not God, they're not spirit, and you know they're still dealing with not only their ego but their intellect. And yes, we need them, and they're wonderful, but I think that we give them way too much power.
So and that can actually affect somebody who is not as strong-minded. Somebody who's in a delicate situation that could actually make somebody give up.
Absolutely. I've seen it day in and day out, yeah.
Well, I do want to say this. we have some people that are right now waiting in the queue, and the queue is crazy. I mean, Joe is our producer's being very nice to us to not putting 20 people in the queue. Okay, he's putting it just 3 at a clip. Okay, would you be willing to take a call to a caller right now?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's just get this on here. Caller, area code 254. You're on the show. What's your name?
Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
Oh, we are doing wonderful because we got Michelle. Of course we're doing wonderful. You kidding me? So now that we have Michelle, do you have a question for Michelle?
Well, I've been going through a battle with my husband as far as, like, drug issues. So I just wanted to know, like, if you, like, anything from my family members that have passed, I want to hear from them.
Okay, first of all, I just want to clarify this. You guys do this so often, and I understand, we are attached to our family, we love them during life, and yes, they're on the other side, but what people forget is that they have a process. We're not just hanging out there in the heavens doing nothing. We still learn and grow and evolve, and when they go on, they have what we call a home welcoming party, and then we have a life review and evaluation, and then they go into healing. You always, dear, want to take your prayers to the top. Why go to the middleman when you can go directly to the top? And what you need, love, is all your family and the people that truly believe to start praying. But your husband has a very addictive personality, and it's more than one addiction. And this is something that he doesn't have, as Alan was saying, I believe, he doesn't have a strong will, a strong mind. He's weak in that sense, so he just keeps going back. And what I'd highly recommend is rehab. He needs help because he's not able to do it, and it's on his own, and it's not just affecting him where he could have an overdose, love, but it's affecting the entire family, and you don't want the children to see that.
No, ma'am. Yeah, it just sucks because everything costs so much. I know that he has to go to rehab. It just, like, everything, of course, everything, money is the root to all evil. So I just, everything costs so much. Rehab is like $7,000 and then... Yeah. There are some programs that you can get based on, depending on what state, that you don't have to actually pay for private rehab. So you might want to do your research and look into see what your options are. Every area is different. But I'm sorry, I have to be honest. Again, there's no room for the ego. I can only tell the truth and serve you for your highest good. He chooses the drugs over his own family. He's self-destructive. Okay? Yeah, I understand that.
All right, and it's bringing you down, and let me say this, even though our children may be little, they are so much smarter than what we give them credit for, They're so much wiser, and they know if mommy's okay, and they know if mommy's not okay, and then they feel that energy too. So it's very toxic where you are, and it's a very lower vibration. You need to clear and bless that, and you need to he needs to get help, honey, or it's the only way.
Okay.
All right, honey. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. All right, that's so cool, and
But guys, you really didn't have to be psychic for that one, I don't think. But
no, that's pretty self-explanatory. But you know what? Sometimes when people have things going on in their life, they're just looking for help.
Sometimes, yes.
From anywhere, anybody. Yeah, anything that could help them. They're just so they help.
Yeah. Well, she's just overwhelmed, overwhelmed and kind of beat up. But, yeah, I mean, we all need help. I mean, listen, I've sat down with a medium myself, which is, I think, one of the best, just to kind of experience it from the other end.
Don't you find, though, Michelle, that sometimes people, that they don't really need a reading, that they don't really need to hear something from spirit. They just literally need somebody to... be sensible and just tell them as it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm very notorious for just telling it as it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have someone else on the line right now, okay? And everybody holding in queue, if you could just please know, Michelle is not here for the entire night. So if you have a life issue that you need taken care of, You can go and get a reading with Michelle and book her out for the next 5 hours. But so be fair to the other callers, because we have so many other people that want to be with us.
Yeah, and Alan wants to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And Alan wants to go home. Alan. Poor Alan's on UK time, and Alan only drinks tea, which means it's not as potent as coffee, so he's not going to be staying up for much longer.
You're a trooper, Alan. I love it.
Thank you.
All right.
It's
so
worth
now we're
it to
going
talk to you,
to
Michelle.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay,
now we're going to go to it's me, Jules, at 719. Could you tell me your first name?
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julie. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, we're doing so well. I'm glad that you're on the show. Do you have a question for Michelle?
Yes, I do. Hold on, let me switch phones.
Uh-oh.
That phone just had sorry about that. It just had a lot of staticky sound, so I wanted to make sure I could hear clearly.
Go ahead. What's the question, love?
I'm wanting to know what you see around my relationship with Kent.
Okay, so basically you're asking about your relationship with your partner.
Yes.
Okay, that's so generic and general. We're on radio. Okay. We have a lot of callers. Can you be more specific, please?
I'm thinking about ending a very long marriage.
Okay. May I have his sun sign, please?
Virgo.
And yours?
We're both Virgos.
Goodness gracious. That says a lot right there. First of all, you two are just going through the motions, and you're lucky if you even pass each other in the hallway. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. He's doing his thing, you're doing yours. This has been ongoing. You know, again, I really don't even feel like you need to be a psychic or a medium for this. This is like marriage counseling, except in this case, you've already thrown in the towel. And what's also going on here is that you're not, you two are not intimate anymore. You don't even communicate. There's lack of trust. I mean, we're talking about, more than one basket full of problems here. And I don't see him wanting to cooperate or compromise to come to the solutions to have a healthy marriage. So the bottom line is where I'm going with this is I see you leaving, and I see it being a sticky, kind of messy divorce, fighting and red tape and delays and, through the system. And that doesn't do either one of you justice. Just get it done with already, because the thing is, honey, you're not in love with him. You love him, you care about him, but he's not in love with you either. He loves you and he cares about you, and he has somebody else.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Well, I already knew you knew that, to be honest, and that's why I said it, because I know we're on the air, but I know that you know that, and I'm just confirming that for you. So there it is, love.
Do you see someone for me at some point?
Well, let's give your heart a little bit of time to heal, right? First of all, you're not even divorced yet. Second of all, you have that, when I get into your energy, you're almost numb. You feel numb to me, like you're just going through the motions. And you need to heal from that. You have major trust issues and safety issues and so many issues that you have to work through emotionally and mentally and spiritually before you can have a healthy relationship with your, let's say, knight in shining armor or king, where you can hold that space and place with that person. But yes, later on down the road, not anytime soon, I do see a healthy relationship.
Oh, good. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
All right, thanks.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Sometimes it's very difficult, isn't it, when somebody's going through a big emotional upheaval, and to weigh up, Michelle, whether the person needs to have both barrels or whether to do it gently. But I think you summed that up perfectly.
Oh, thank you, love. Thank you.
Michelle, when you were talking, I saw that the extramarital affair thing.
Okay, good. I
was thinking to myself, is she going to say it? I was like holding my breath. I'm like, oh my God, is she going to say it?
Oh, you should know. Jesse, you know. Come on.
Oh God, I was holding my breath because I saw it so vividly.
I just feel that the truth sets us free. I mean, I'm not interested in people's opinions or conclusions or assumptions or even perspectives that way. I'm really just interested in one thing. That's the facts, the truth, and that always comes from the top.
That's so true. And, one of the things that's very tough, and it's just part of, I guess, the psychic industry, is that, we get these messages and they go through our filters. And if we're strong people to begin with,
yes,
then chances are we're going to be giving strong messages. But sometimes you have to be very careful because,
yes,
Spirit is not filtering. Spirit just showed me the affair. But that doesn't mean that I have to be like, I have to tell her every you have to tell her every detail. You could say, hey, listen, I think this is what's going on. You can't go and say, I just saw this,
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were married to this person. Come on now. I'm helping her out, honestly. I mean, it's dragged out long enough, and, let's just get down to business, honestly.
I think Jesse's got enough going on in his life without adding bigamy to it.
Listen, so far they've married me to John Holland, and I'll have bigamy. So I'm all over the place today. But this is so cool, and I don't know about you, Michelle, and you've been doing it for a lot longer than I have. Okay.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah.
But I know that when I'm doing this type of work, it is so fulfilling.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, because where else can you go and not worry about being you or doing you? You're just being of spirit. You're being of help, and you get to see their faces, and you know that whether they took it right or wrong, they're going to be healed at some point.
Yeah, it's all it's always fuel for my fire. It's what keeps me going. Is what is making the difference in people's lives and changing people's lives or saving their lives or anything that's positive. There's no amount of money that can give you the feeling that we get, I feel, from doing this work. It's such a sense of fulfillment and gratification, and just knowing that even if I'm just touching one person's life and changing it, it's not really just touching that one person's life, because if they change, that means everything around them changes.
And it doesn't really matter where somebody is in the world either, does it, Michelle? Because in all your travels, people go through the same kind of issues.
Absolutely.
In whichever,
Absolutely. I mean, you get the same questions. I mean, I travel the globe, and I deal with people all over the world, and most of my readings are via telephone. That shocks people. And I find that no matter where they're calling from, it is, like you said, the same issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you see, that's the strange thing about us human beings, isn't it? We're in pursuit of happiness. And a lot of us, and myself included, that happened to me, is that you, shall we say, fall in love with somebody. But do you really fall in love with them? Is it a case that you find somebody and you try then to mould that person to how you are, or they try to mould you? And you go along with it for whatever amount of time. But eventually it has to break down, doesn't it?
It does, and a lot of people think that this is not natural, but, I often say to people, is this my soulmate? It's my soulmate. I say to the crowd, well, if everyone was with their soulmate, why would the divorce rate be what it is? And not only that, did people ever think that your soulmate could be your child? It could be a family member. It could be your best friend. It's not always an intimate relationship. And so, that's why I think it's so important to spiritually educate people so they know what is what. And a lot of times that we get involved with a person, especially when we're younger. I did it myself, just like you said, about, I can mold that person, or I can change that person, or I can change myself for that matter to make this person happy. But the truth is, as we all know, you cannot change someone unless they want to be changed, and you cannot heal someone unless they feel they're worthy of that healing or want to be healed. And it's really just that simple.
That's right. But you see, also, perhaps it's a case that we're meant to go through these failed relationships to learn more about ourselves. And that can be for both parties, for both people involved.
Oh, well, I know with my ex, I'll say it. I don't care. You know, it was a very karmic relationship on both ends. You know, I owed him, karmically speaking, positive and negative, and vice versa. And there were some definitely heavy lessons in there, spiritual contracts that we had negotiated, we agreed upon to learn from one another. And I looked at that, and I was gifted 2 beautiful children with some really tough lessons. And I, quite frankly, wouldn't change it. I don't regret it. I think that it's only made me that much stronger and wiser in who I am today.
Well, you see, that's it. You see, I mean, I can see now that my marriage was, you know, it was going to fail. But I love my ex-wife from the point of view she's given me my children and ultimately my grandchildren. So there's, you know, you have to look at what you achieve, not just what the failure part of.
Exactly, and that's what I tell people. Look back on your past. No, it can't be changed. But however, we can take those pearls of wisdom or those experiences and those lessons with us and say, well, I've learned now. Many people aren't even clear of what they want, and then they go through multiple relationships until they figure out what it is that they want. You know, there's many scenarios, but it really isn't that complex, is it?
No.
Sorry about that, Alan.
Yeah, I would say us human beings have been going through the same scenario for thousands of years.
Isn't that the truth? And thousands and thousands, yes.
And more to come now. Now, Michelle, let me ask you. Now, my son happened to turn out to be a psychic medium. Have your children exhibited any of the abilities or no?
Yes, actually, both of my boys did. My older one said he found the off button. I don't know how he did that because I don't have one.
It's called ignore. It's not off.
Exactly.
It's just ignore.
I guess mute, right?
Yeah.
And then my younger son is extremely gifted, very much so, but he's still a little bit frightened, I have to be honest. He's still a bit, you know, I'm trying to school him and guide him and help him to understand these things. But he says, Mom, I don't have the off button. And I said, well, that's okay, son. I don't have the off button either, and I prayed about it, and God told me, well, if I gave you one, you would have turned it off, and you'd never be serving him any. You'd be sitting on a couch eating bums, you know, cinnamon buns, watching soap operas or something. I don't know.
Well, let's get our next caller in because you guys may not have known this, but I went off the air for a little while you guys spoke. And the reason why is that my phone is going nuts. What happened is somehow somebody keeps posting instead of 504 for the call-in number, they keep getting 540. So there's poor older ladies getting calls. Everybody in the world calling this poor older lady.
Goodness.
Leave me alone. She's just tired of getting phone calls. So I just want to say, everybody out there, the phone number is 504-273-7379, not 240. So, Michelle, would you mind taking another caller?
Oh, not at all, but Alan and I were having a lovely time. We didn't even know you were gone, Jesse.
No.
I had to just do the disappearing act because the phone was just blowing up, and I knew there was something wrong. I had to answer it.
No, I'm messing with you, love. I'm saying Alan and I were fine. It's all right.
All right. Can we ask you, caller 772, can you tell me your first name?
Hello, my name's Tim.
Hey, Tim, how's everything going tonight?
Oh, pretty good.
All right. Tim, do you have a question for Michelle?
Well, I'm sure I could think of a lot of questions.
Well, we don't have a lot of time, so it's got to be something brief.
Right. Well, I just wanted to say that I feel honored. I didn't know who Michelle was until I did a web search, and I'm very surprised. So I'm honored to be able to be on the phone here and just thank her very graciously for everything that she does for everyone.
Well, that was very kind of you, sir.
Mm-hmm. I guess if I did have a question, I would ask if you could see from a distance and would have anything to share with me.
If I can see
it's such a general question that it can go anywhere. Can you ask her something specific?
Well, that's okay. I help you out, love. I would say that we have more in common than probably most people. Fair enough.
Mhm. Okay.
For example, go ahead.
There have been times in my life when, while sleeping, I see things, and I've kept it a little bit secret and haven't shared it. I did share it with my father at a young age, and I don't know that he really believed me, but in some instances it can be frightening because, you don't really know how to handle it or deal with it or who to talk to. So I've pretty much just pushed it aside. But life is short, and I'm a little bit older, so I think that at this juncture in my life, there isn't really a whole lot I can do with it.
I think you'd be surprised. It's never too late. I mean, there's so many souls out there that need so much help, and us light workers really need to just keep going, moving forward, and helping all that we can. And before you even went to speak, I said to you, we have more in common than most people, meaning your gift, but you're suppressing your gift. And, everyone is different. Some people are comfortable in feeling versus seeing. Some people are okay doing trance channeling versus conscious channeling, or maybe clear audio. There's different things. You'll find many different psychics, mediums, healers that are comfortable with some things where, in my case, I'm very visual, and I don't mind at all seeing. It doesn't scare me, but then again, I've been doing this ever since I got here, so this is all I know. This is who I am. But I would tell you to embrace it, my friend, and thank you. I see that you've done your homework and you have researched me thoroughly, and I'm glad that you have made a connection there. And with that, I would say God bless you.
All right. Have a good night, Tim. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
All right. Sometimes, it's kind of funny. Spirit works in such a way that we were meant to have that phone call, right?
Yes.
He had no clue what he was going to ask, right?
No. But there was a correlation, if you caught that,
Yeah. And isn't that funny how Spirit works, Alan?
But yeah, because what it is, that gentleman is in a total confused state about what he's supposed to be doing with his life. And the connection, as you said, Michelle, it's frightening him. There's nothing to be frightened of. It is meant. And I do hopefully believe that he'll have gained some kind of direction and solace from talking to you, Michelle.
Oh, that's lovely, Alan. Thank you. And I feel that he will, and I know he's looking at the body of work and the information. I think what it is with that particular chap is that he feels alone, and still somewhat scared. And as you said, Alan, there's nothing to be scared of, and now he knows he's not alone. There's lots more of us out there.
Yes, there is.
There's a, what? Let's talk about that really quickly. What's your explanation for this explosion?
Oh, isn't it lovely?
Right? What's your explanation for it?
My explanation for this explosion is, as Alan is saying, we've been doing this over and over for thousands of years, and it's time for us to spiritually wake up and all come together and realize that we're all brothers and sisters and live in peace and harmony. I know I sound like John Lennon here, but I mean, really, it's the truth, and it's about this quickening. Haven't you noticed this quickening, like time? It's just gone. You see a day, and you're like, oh, it's only been a few hours. In Alan's case, he's probably thinking, for the love of God, can I go to bed yet?
No, I'm all right. To be honest with you, I'm wide awake, Michelle. And You've just said something. I'm really enjoying it, seriously. It's really lovely to talk to you. But you just something there just made me smile. You mentioned John Lennon, because it seems that nearly everybody over in America thinks that I sound like John Lennon.
I love John Lennon. Are you kidding me? Right? He peacefully protests for peace, and look what happens to him. But I guess what I'm saying is this. Jesse, you were saying about, what's this all about, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's called the Ascension. Everyone, when they thought 2012 was the end of the world, I can't tell you how many people were blowing up my phone. Oh, my goodness, this is it. We're all going to die. I said, I'm sorry to disappoint you, But guess what? The majority of us will wake up and life will continue.
That's right.
And it's really about us spiritually raising our vibration and spiritually waking up. And all these indigo children that are coming in, all these light workers that are here to help us to come into this body of information, not just know it and say we know this and we believe it, but live it. Live our life like a prayer. Live our life based on the universal laws that govern all of us. And, whether you don't, I always say to people, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. I mean, look at the air that we're breathing. What is the definition of love? I'd like to think the action, right? I mean, we could go on and on about that, but this is the quickening, this is the cleansing, this is the shift for Mother Earth and humanity to finally raise our vibration. How about this, from us to graduate from mandatory school to go on to college?
I like that explanation because there's been such an explosion, and it's really crazy of how many people are coming out of the woodworks, and you're like, wow.
And that's just it. It's like you said, Jesse, they're coming out of the woodwork. But the truth is they've been there for a long time. Yeah. But they haven't felt that it was safe or comfortable or, again, as we were saying, it was so taboo back in the day. So now people are saying, I remember when I started teaching years ago, it was prominently women. Now, when I teach, it's men and women, and it's almost equal. And that's lovely. So I'm seeing children, I'm seeing elderly people, women, men, and people that I thought that I would never see in my audience or reading my books or getting readings or whatever it may be, and really looking for these answers and really trying to apply them. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it.
But don't you also find that in times of, shall we say, general hardship that the world, and especially the Western world, is going through, at the moment financially, and that it makes people look for other answers or go within themselves? Absolutely,
you're totally spot on, and yes. So it's usually when someone's going through one of their major crises, I find they have their biggest epiphany or their wake-up call, or in their toughest times, it really defines who's who. And then I love the atheists and agnostics that go, they say they don't believe, or maybe they're not sure, but the minute something happens, oh my God, it comes right out of their mouth. Or all of a sudden, they start praying, and I'm thinking, see, it's always been in there. You've just now found it for whatever reason. But, yes, and in great times of crisis, and I know here in the States it's really just a bloody mess, to be honest. People are really, though, going further than man-made religion. They're going outside of the box, I guess we could say, into more spiritual perspective or spiritual teachings that are universal versus, and I'm not picking on religion, whether it's Catholicism or, heck, one time I was of my own free will. I chose to be Southern Pentecostal. Now, wrap your brain around that one.
Yeah. Well, it's quite different between spirituality and religion.
Oh, I'll say.
And then that's the next battle, I guess.
Yes, and it was funny. As I said, my parents were not religious or spiritual, and they were wondering where their little girl went. At least I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt. And where was I? Finding myself on the first one on the bus to go to any church they would take me to, and the last one off the bus. And when my parents said, what in the world is wrong with you? What are you doing? And I said, well, and I was very, very small at the time. I said, I just want to be close to God. And then, of course, as time went on, I went to church and I realized, well, wait a minute, I have a man up here preaching about, fornication and adultery, but his wife's on one side and his girlfriend's on the other. This can't be right, And then I said, well, this seems like a hypocritical, contradiction. This is not me. And so then, I left the church, and very quickly after that, it's always been for me, and that's why I'm very adamant about referring to myself as a spiritual medium, because there is such a difference.
I definitely understand it. So let me ask you, I know that you've done a lot of haunted places.
Yes, I have, actually. 2 books on it.
Yeah,
one in the United States and one in the old world, yes.
So, there's a big difference between, obviously, the ghost and paranormal. One's a soul that's trapped and the other one's just something replaying over and over again. Have you ever been to a place that really scared you?
Yes. Yes.
Like fear, like I'm going to die.
Yes. And it was actually in the northern part of England.
Right. Whereabouts?
Yeah, it was Chillingham.
Where?
It's called Chillingham Castle. And it's in the northern part of England. And that's the most haunted place I've ever been.
Really? So what happened there that...
Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you. They locked us in, first of all. Okay?
Okay.
Well,
never
right
good
there
sign
is not
when
a
they
good
lock
sign.
you in.
Yeah, they locked us in and they locked us out. I mean, this was just crazy. I mean, this just takes it to another level. I can't even say this from the air. People are going to think that I've lost my mind. But I'll skip over to another place. They don't even allow people anymore at Chillingham Castle. You didn't see people. That's my point. You saw bats and ghosts and other things, but you didn't see people. But Myrtle's Plantation is right there on my top 3. And that was in the United States. And it's about an hour outside of the French Quarters in New Orleans. You have to take a ferry boat, and it's like these plantation homes back in the day when they had slaves and that. And Myrtle's Plantation is actually the most haunted place that I have found in the United States, where we're not talking about imprints or bleed-throughs where the same thing happens over and over. I call it a scar on our time and place. We're talking about actual hauntings and poltergeists and ghosts that were active.
So they were intelligent and interactive?
Yes. There were 2 children. There was a slave named Chloe. There was a gentleman there. You could actually, the one imprint that was there, it was interesting because this place is very old and very complex, and it's like a bed and breakfast, but nobody ever stays the night. They run out of the hotel, and I'm not joking.
Oh, boy.
And these children run around, and what's crazy is you can hear their footprints, and I was in there, and we were running the technical part as well as me being a medium, and I had just like maybe 3-4 people around me. It's about 2-3 in the morning when they're more active, and they see the children pull on my jammies, you know, and my jammies are out like as if static energy, but it's not. And I see their faces, and their eyes are popping out of their head. They're turning white, and I turn around and I look, and I'm like, oh, my. You know, I mean, it's an incredible place. It's a place I actually wanted to go back to.
So it scared you so much you want to go back?
Well, no, Chillingham's the one that scared me so much I don't want to go back. But Myrtle's Plantation scared me, but not in a bad way. It scared me in a way like this place is really active. Like I could do a lot more with it.
Yeah, because, I was speaking to somebody recently, and out of England we had this conversation, and, there's some entities that are not human
you're
spirits.
right.
Yes.
And they don't play by the same rules.
No, they don't.
And they don't stop.
You see,
that's called Chillingham.
Well, that's
it wasn't so fun, guys.
No.
Let me tell you that. And I'm really a trooper, but I was up there at the top. And by the way, it's the only place left that has, back in the day, in the medieval day where we did the jousting. Alan, you would know this, with the mic.
Yeah, well, actually, as you've been talking, I've gone onto my laptop and I've pulled up Chillingham Castle, and I'm just reading a little bit about it while you were talking. But what Jesse was on about, I mean, that's one of the things that I'm really well known for, is going around and clearing bad energies. And you're on about poltergeists. I've done 1 or 2 just ordinary houses where I've gone in there and things have been flying around. And, it's. But yeah, to be honest with you, I hadn't heard of Chillingham Castle, although I know Northumberland, and just looking at it, you can feel the vibes from it. So
I was going to say, Alan, did you get a chance to go into Chillingham?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you should. If you can, you should go and get, well, listen, I'm telling you, I'm scared. That's the scariest place, and I'm sending you there. But, I mean, if you do it, and I know you do, and I did the same work, and I normally don't go public with this and say I do clearings and blessings, and I do, or exorcisms, or just getting rid of spirits that are just naughty poltergeists that are, affecting the people that are living. that is something that I do as well, and that's how Ghost Stalker 1 got started with the United States, and then I had so much fun with it that I wrote Ghost Stalker 2, which is based on the old world, I call it, Europe, England, and so many other places.
The thing is, Michelle, though, it's good that there are people like yourself, like me, who do this, because we laugh about it, but the people who are affected by it, it's no two ways about it. It drives them insane, literally.
That's strange.
Yeah. So what? It's something I asked. I said, "Do you want to go? We need to go get Zoe." There she is.
Caller 405, can you hear us?
I can. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, my husband just started talking to me at the same time. I'm so sorry. Hello.
How are you?
All of a sudden, I heard Alan speaking, and I was like, "What in the world?"
I'm so
sorry.
Oh my goodness!
I always believe in synchronicity. What's your name, love?
Angie.
Hi, Angie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. This is kind of comical. I was very into the conversation, and then my husband came to talk to me, so I'm so sorry. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a good night. I've actually spoken with Michelle before, and she changed my life after 15 years of feeling guilty, I guess, about my mother's death. And blah, blah, blah. So I have a new question tonight for Michelle. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Thank you for the confirmation.
You're welcome. Job issues. I'm having major job issues now. And I feel like I'm in the right job. I love my job, but I can't seem to keep a job. So I was wanting to see if there's something that I'm missing in regards to that.
And may I just have your sun sign, please?
Yeah, I'm Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Oh, yeah, you have no filter. I love it. It means what you're thinking is what you say. And boy, do you have a lot of energy. I'll tell you what, enough for all of us tonight. And with you, honey, it's that you get bored really fast. You do know that. And
yeah, I do.
You put your energy a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. What happens? You only get a little bit back here, a little bit back here. So with you, I don't think it's so much that you're not in the wrong place. That's I could tell you for sure. Or rather, shall I say, you're in the right profession. But you need to learn how to prioritize and organize and be fully in the moment. Spirit's always telling us to be present and give 110% and focus. And I find that you're all over the place like a bouncing ball and not present, and therefore your attention span is short, therefore you get bored, and then they cut you loose, or you end up someplace else. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not that you're in the wrong field. It's just a matter of reorganizing and prioritizing and focus and being fully present at that time and place and moment.
Okay. May I ask, do you see me getting a job soon?
Oh, don't cry. I was going to say, whatever you do, please don't cry. Soon. It's funny. I just heard 3. So with me, hold on. Oh, okay, hold on. I was going to say you're not going to like the answer, but you asked. And, and I will say this because time is tricky. I don't care who you are in this field. You can be the best of the best. But I'm a firm believer in free will. We can make things happen faster or we can slow it down. But I got 3 months.
Okay. Just enough time to enjoy summer then, right?
There you go. I love the attitude. Be optimistic. Hey, listen, there's plenty of people here in the States that are out of work and all over the world, matter of fact. And so just know that it's about divine timing and you're getting your little duckies in a row and you have a family and such, so you'll be ready.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in Oklahoma, and we just have been suffering the storms and everything, so it's been a crazy month. So
yes, my prayers go out to Oklahoma. I know you guys have been hit really hard and bad, so please, I send my love and my prayers to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time.
Much.
I appreciate you all.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you. Well,
Michelle,
what a great testimonial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, listen. You didn't know that we provide testimonials part of the show.
No, I didn't. So I'm a terrible psychic. I didn't know that.
Just before we go on to something else, before that lady come on, you're on about Chillingham Castle, and I've just been looking on there.
Yeah.
You can pay £170 a night to be frightened there if you want to stay there.
Get out! No.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I've just looked it up.
That's an expensive night, not to even...
Well, let me just tell you, this is a sleepless night, first of all. And people, they lock you in, so I guess that's why you have to stay, because we couldn't get out. But they will not stay another night.
They probably won't let you out until you pay.
If they put me on that show, it would be a comedy, because I would not last that long in there, because I would just get the heebie-jeebies, and then I'd be like, you know what, there's got to be a way out of here. It would be about more me trying to get out than anything else.
That's all right. Al and I would be busy chasing around the ghosts or getting rid of them.
No way. I don't even like walking at night when I'm, at night when you're sleeping and you have to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
At night, I just say to myself, you don't see anything. You don't see anything. You don't see anything, because I already have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to be scared.
Yes, you're too funny.
Well, Michelle, I know that you're doing so many things. What are you doing now? Like, what's your next thing? You're going to be in Florida for something, right?
Yeah, yes. Gosh, talk about busy woman, right? I will actually be in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. That will be Saturday, June 15th at 2 o'clock. It's called Seeing into the Spirit World, and it's a workshop with audience messages for all. I am very giving in that way. Be sure to watch the HBO documentary, No One Dies in Lilydale. It airs on Tuesday, June 25th, and I will also be in Lilydale again this summer from July 13th to the 15th. I have events and charity events as well, which I love doing charity and readings. And for anyone listening, just please go to michellewhitedove.com or Facebook or many other of the what I call social network or sites. There's so many. Yeah. I got Facebook,
Twitter,
YouTube
you got
channel,
everything.
Twitter.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, so it's like by the time you go through all that, I'm like, just go have yourself a good look. And everything's up there. Shantae's really good about putting everything up there, so I always let the people know.
Shantae's the best. I worked with Shantae, and I love her. She says she's going to do something, and she gets it done. I was so impressed.
Yeah, I can't do it without her. I can't tell no lies. I mean, imagine me doing what I do and having to do what she does. It would never work out.
Yeah, you would have no time to do anything.
Exactly. So kudos to Shantae, absolutely.
Yeah, somebody just emailed us right now, and he said, your call-in number is wrong number. Please fix it. Thank you. That was 5 minutes ago. And
I feel so bad for this lady that's getting all the calls.
Oh, my God. She's like, stop calling me. I'm calling.
Well, who knows what time it is where she is?
It's 540. Where would that be? That's a good question. Let me look up the area code. Hold on. I have the Internet here. Area code. Virginia, so she's on Eastern Standard Time, so it's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
It could have been worse, That could have been dialing a UK number.
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen, there's nothing else funnier than when somebody from the UK loses it on the phone. Because the way they curse, it sounds so funny.
Oh,
it has so much emotion in it.
Well, you've heard that, have you?
It's like you have to laugh so hard,
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone curse. Well, actually, I have, so I don't know. I felt very uncomfortable in the situation myself.
I've done plenty of business in the UK in the Wall Street part of my life.
Oh, well, there you have it.
So I had many years of dealing with it, and believe me, when they lose it, there's nothing funnier.
I want to make it clear that you haven't heard me lose it yet.
Alan, you seem to be very calm and loving, but I don't know if I'd want to see you lose it.
No.
It's just so funny, and because they put so much emphasis on the words, that it's just like, the worst thing you could tell them is like, keep your hair on or something like that. It just makes them keep your hair on, forget about it. They go nuts. It's just, I don't know why, it just does.
Well, that's a good one, Jesse. Thanks. I'm going to have to remember that one, but I don't feel like getting in trouble.
Oh, so let me ask you, what do you enjoy the most? Like, I know you do the psychic detectives, you do medical intuitive, you work with children, you work with clearing, you teach, right? Do you teach psychic development also? And you do?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you teach psychic development. What gives you the most joy, if you had to pick?
Wow. Oh, that's a tough one. But
I know, I ask tough questions.
I love it. What gives me the most joy is working with children first.
Okay.
Second, a medical intuitive, a health intuitive, because I'm able to either save someone's life or help them cross over, or sometimes even preventative, to completely change it. So I would say working with children would be my first greatest love. Second, health intuitive. And third, believe it or not, teaching, because I really feel that we're short on teachers. And teaching is where we're able to give so much information to so many souls at one time. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Alan, you have anything for that?
Well, you see, the thing is, Michelle, you, although you're straight talking, you also have a heart and you care about the people that I can just sense this just from knowing you just a short time. So it isn't just about shocking people, telling them as it is. It's done with a heart that you really do want to help. And when you think about your children, they can be the most vulnerable, can't they?
Isn't that the truth? Yes. And you just nailed me on the head. You just nailed it, Alan. Because,
do you think I could take up being psychic?
Yeah, just a bit, eh?
I might have a go at it.
Yeah, my greatest joy really is being a humanitarian, even working with Mother Earth, the environment, nature, animals. I just love making a difference. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Well, that was another phone call I just took.
You're multitasking.
I feel so terrible because I'm like, listen, we only have 10 more minutes with Michelle, and you're not going to get in. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
He's like, this is the third time I called. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's not meant to be love. But you know what? The great thing about Knowledge of Spirit Radio is that we're here every Friday, so it doesn't matter. So
there you go.
He may not get what he wants, but he'll get what he needs. That's not
right. Well said. I often say that.
I will say this. We do have somebody else in the queue, and this will probably be the absolute last person because we are running out of time, and there's not enough Michelle to go around. And I'm sure if Michelle had 5 hours, she would be here, but we don't.
That's trying to call me now, Jesse.
See, now they're calling new. And what's even crazy, they're calling in England. That makes it even crazier.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
What it is that I've got an American Skype number in Harrisburg, and they're calling that number, and it's coming through to me on my computer. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So this is just the way it goes. So let's see if we can get out this last caller. Can I get who's at 253? Can you tell me your first name?
This is Diana.
Hey Thea, how's everything going?
Well, pretty good. The sun's shining in the Seattle area, so that's a good thing.
All right. Well, listen, we're happy to have you because you know what? You are going to be the last caller. How awesome is that?
Oh, not very often. Thank you so much.
No problem. You have a question for Michelle?
I do. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, love.
Hey. Yes, my question is, I've talked to you once before, and I'd love to talk. And I'm trying to figure out my next step in life. We talked about getting the divorce over with, and to try to find hidden money to get my share might take too much work and too much money.
Right. Okay, so what's the question there?
Should I pursue trying to find John's commissions and getting my fair share out of the 20-year divorce? Or just let it go and just take maintenance?
He will just drag it out and just torture you along the way, as you've already been down this road, right? Fair enough. The legalities, the logistics, the red tape, the money, the lawyers. It's an ugly business, you know. But it's not for me to say that. I cannot answer that for you. It's really more for you to answer, you know. I know that, you know, so many of you, well, let's just ring up a psychic or a medium and whatever that person says is what I'll do, you know. But I'm not spirit. I'm just a humble messenger. And you just seem to me that are so exhausted. And so, like, your sanity is gone, you know. I'm not picking on you, but...
I know, you're right.
You know, you're having sleepless nights, you know, you're not sleeping, your nerves are shot. Exactly. And so let me just put it to you this way. You're not sleeping, you're not hardly eating, you don't have your sanity, you have no peace of mind. This has been, you know, dragged out how long already? We can't take the money. Right, we can't take money with us, by the way, when we go. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And when we do cross over and go to the other side, they don't say, Spirit doesn't say how much money did you make or how much money did you lose. It's based on our actions. It's based on our deeds, you know. So only you and your heart and your soul, the core of your soul, knows that answer. And you know, you can go either way. You can drag yourself out and stress yourself out for another, you know, to be honest, I'd say year. Or you can just, you know, make a deal and cut it loose and learn your lessons and move on to bigger and better things. Right. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm just going to say it because that's who I am. My counsel to you would be, if I had to choose my sanity and peace of mind over money, it would definitely be my peace of mind over money any day, anytime.
Absolutely. I've had 2 funerals the last 2 weeks. One was a lady my age, died of a brain aneurysm, and Jennifer. Her ashes were buried with her dad's ashes under her tree on her property. My Aunt Connie's funeral at Washoe in Seattle was probably up to $50,000, buried with jewelry and everything. And so you took a look at those 2 extremes, and it's like, we don't take anything with us.
No, we don't. Well, we take what we've done here on Earth. We just don't take the materialistic things.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, because you were the last call, and we
thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you, and have a great night.
You too.
God bless, honey. Good luck.
God bless you, Michelle. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, Alan, where did she say that aunt was buried with jewelry?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's believed from the things that are done.
Oh my God!
Well, all I can say is don't tell anybody where
she's buried.
Grave robbers.
That's true though. There are people that do that.
Yep, there are people with no scruples, and they don't care. They're like, hey, they're not going to wear it, but we can use it.
That's awful.
Well, with show, we want to take. Well, hold on. We're getting from our producer here our time slot. We got the little pencil rolling, so let's see what the time slot is. I love Skype because it keeps writing, but he probably just writes like one number, but it's like writing for half an hour. Okay.
We have 4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes, and we can run over a little if we can. So let's just start wrapping up the whole thing. Alan, what do you have to say? Because I always you wrap up a little here.
Okay. Well,
I talk too much.
I hadn't noticed, Jesse.
I think I have Tourette's.
You've written that well. Michelle, right, quite seriously, it's been absolute pleasure talking to you. The odd time I've managed to get in when Jesse has had to take a breath.
Oh, thank you, Alan. You're quite lovely. Lovely indeed.
Thank you, and you are. It's all right. Me and Jesse are good friends. He'll get me back for
put
that.
this out here, Alan. We
Yes.
have one person left in the queue. Would you like to take this one person?
Would you, Michelle, like to take the one person?
Sure, no problem.
All right,
Okay.
so let's do that because he says we could run over a little bit because we have leeway because we have millions of people who listen to us, and that's the way it works. Anyway, area code 904. Can you tell me your first name?
My name is Beth.
Hi, Beth. Good evening. How's everything going with you?
Oh, we're doing fine.
Okay. I hope you're enjoying the show.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Okay.
Good.
I'm so glad. I'm glad. Do you have a question for Michelle?
Yes, I do. I was wondering if you see any grandchildren in the future?
Actually, I do. And it seems to be quite a big surprise to everyone. I see a lot of smiles and a lot of gifts, and don't be so if you get 2 for 1.
Twins?
Yes.
Oh, soon?
Well, not as soon as you'd like, but yes, relatively soon. See, my idea of soon is yesterday. I save all my patience and grace for my clients' work, but Spirit's idea of soon is anywhere from now, 6 months, a year, sometimes a few, but no, this is rather soon. And I do feel like there's going to be some intervention with a doctor, some help, maybe I should say. And that's quite common, but I am seeing twins, and I don't see twins often, and they also have to run in the bloodline, but I'm seeing twins.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
No, don't thank me, thank God.
Thank you for being the messenger.
Oh, it's my pleasure, dear. God bless you. I'm so glad that made your night. And they're going to be healthy, all right?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, love. God bless.
Good night.
Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, you see, that's wonderful. You see, that's the beauty of working
That's the beauty of it.
isn't it?
And isn't that a lovely way to end a show as well?
Oh, man.
Lovely.
You can't go off on any of a higher note here.
No,
I mean,
that was lovely.
This is, well, Michelle, I love you. I've met you, and I liked you when I first met you. I'll tell this really quick backstory. I met Michelle. We didn't know each other from Adam. I wasn't doing the radio show, okay? This was about 3 years ago. I was in her audience. Now, she doesn't do too many audience people. She tries, but there's only an hour allotted. Immediately, she came to me. She's like, you have a question for me? So I asked her a specific question, and she told me the exact answer that I knew. Because I already knew the answer. I just needed to hear validation from it. And I said, all right, she's in tune because she just hit the nail on the head. And I said, all right, this woman is real.
Oh,
and Michelle, isn't it so nice to have real people in your lives? And I mean, we're just having a brief conversation. I'm sure that we can continue our relationship and talking and be friends. But it's so nice to meet real people, and that's what's important in life. Not the money, the cash and prizes. Yeah. It's nice, don't get me wrong.
Right, yeah.
But it's the real relationships that make life worth living, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, Jesse, that means a lot because what I like about this story is that you knew me, just me, you know, not before all the crazy shows, American Psychic Challenge, Sixth Sense International, the global one, you know, everything. You knew me as a person, and then you got to see me, you know, and like you said, only 1 hour allowed. I don't even do that anymore. I'm with you, Jesse. I call that place a circus, to be honest with you. So I don't.
So I was right today with P.T. Barnum, right?
Yeah, you're spot on. When you said it, I said, oh, my goodness, that's exactly what I say. I call it a circus act or carnival, and I just can't be a part of it. But anyhow, that means so much more to me because it's not like you're watching me on TV going, oh, yeah, you know. It's a different kind of connection, so I really appreciate that.
No problem. I always like to call it out when you connect with people because it's really important to let them know because we're psychics, not mind readers.
Yeah,
exactly,
sure.
And I love the feedback because, again, that's fuel for the fire. It's like, okay, keep going. Good job, you know.
Yep,
so thank
exactly.
you.
No problem. And Alan, please, do you have any parting things to say to Michelle while I breathe?
Well, I can honestly say, Michelle, quite seriously, I've really, really enjoyed talking to you and listening to you. And we've never talked before. We didn't know about each other, but I can honestly say that you're a lovely person, and I hope that we could keep in touch.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're lovely, both of you guys. I love you, and I don't say that to too many people. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Guys,
You have yourself a wonderful night, and thank you so much for being on our show.
You are welcome. Thank you. It's a pleasure anytime. God bless you both.
You too. Have a great night.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Good night. And I was only joking, Jesse, about you talking too much.
Oh, don't worry about it. I love it. It doesn't even matter to me. I just keep going. I don't even hear things sometimes. I just keep going. Because, when we work through spirit, and I believe that's what happens on this show, we don't go by a script. We don't do that stuff. We just work on the moment of how spirit then pushes us to talk about.
That's how it should be, Jesse.
And you know what? That's why we have millions of people that listen to us. That's why millions of people love our show. And let's say it again. You can find us on knowledgeofspirit.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can find us everywhere that you can imagine. You punch us up in Google, we come up. Because people love us. We're going to have a free magazine that's put out by the top people out there. And I did see free, not free.
Yes.
And sign up. Go to knowledgeofspirit.com. Go to the section of Contact Us. And just leave your name and your email, and we will automatically send you out the free magazine. And it's going to be very hot. And like I said, tell your friends and family about the show, because we truly go out of our way to bring the brightest and the best of the fields out there so that you can understand what's going out there and make your own opinion and enjoy the ability of speaking to these people. I mean, some people may not know, but a lot of these people that we bring on the show charge $600-700 to speak to them.
Yeah.
And you get that for free here, and all you have to actually do is call in. How hard is that? I mean, come on.
We're only sorry that we can't take more calls. And
I know.
If anybody's listening who has called in and have come through to me, I am in England. I know it's a Pennsylvania phone number, an Harrisburg phone number, but it's over Skype. So I've got an American number, but the call comes through to over here, and it did actually come through to my cell phone, to my mobile phone.
Absolutely. I just got a call from Japan, but I wasn't answering that. So we thank you guys for listening us to our friends in, obviously, Australia, our friends in the United States, our friends within the UK and Europe, all around China, Japan, in Asia, in India, and all around the world. We thank you so much for sharing these 3 hours with us, and we tell you, we're every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard here, and if you turn on our radio show, we promise you to give you the best show that we can possibly give you, right, Alan?
Indeed. We do. We're committed to it, and we love doing it, and can't wait until we're on air again.
Well, let's put out for next week. Next week we have the famous Derek Okora from England. It's going to be a great interview, and it's going to be straight through, no breaks. So We'll see you guys next week. Be there, Knowledge of Spirit Radio. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat. Our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien